Listen, I don't know who this Emily girl is, but she almost ruined Christmas. Crunchyroll had a bit of an oopsies today, and it almost nearly ruined the episode. Apparently, this wasn't just a normal shakeup. The wrong subs being applied to an episode, it happens a handful of times a year. It is what it is. From what I'm told, the initial upload of today's episode of Tower of God had episode 8 subtitles. So I guess if you actually watched it, you would get spoiled. And it's kind of I thought, that's not what I got the impression of. I thought I had some children's anime subtitles, because it's not the first time. The last time I remember something happening for a show I was watching was My Home Hero, and they literally had this like cutesy anime subtitles over this murder mystery anime. So I thought something similar when they're like talking about Emily come out to play. So I don't know who this bitch Emily is, but she almost ruined Christmas. But this was a pretty intense fight. So yeah, it kind of sucked having to wait a couple hours, but it is what it is. But yeah, Crunchyroll nearly ruined this week's episode of Tower of God in probably the funniest way possible. But you know what? Luckily, we did get the proper English subtitles. I think it was only English subtitles that had issues, so if you watch German or anything else, like you had normal subtitles, you don't even know. But yeah, was not ready for Emily come out to play, and I don't even know. I'm so confused on what episode 8 is going to look like, but I'm so excited to figure out what. Now, I do have full live reactions. If you want to see my full and good thoughts to any of these Tower of God episodes, it's going to be over there exclusively. So, I actually was a little concerned, once I got proper subtitles, I was a little concerned when it looked like how Bam was going to get out of this situation. Because, I'm going to be honest, it's been like 5 years or 4.5 years since I watched season 1 of Tower of God. I don't remember everything. I mean, shoot a guy when he watches 100 anime a year, and how many years has it been? Do the math. So, based on what everyone was saying, I'm thinking Bam shouldn't be able to win this. Right? Like, this is going to be an impossible situation. And usually what anime do is what I thought they were establishing in this episode, which was he gave himself a nerve. If you can get to the flower, you can keep it. If I get to you and body you, you're screwed. And I'm thinking to myself, that's kind of the predictable outcome. Bam's gonna, with the help of his teammates, he'll get to the flower and ultimately he'll win. Not because he's stronger but it's like, I don't know, it was giving me bad vibes. And then we see the sacrifice, and I'm like, ooh, this is so much better. I personally prefer the big top dog to say, you know what? Be proud. You survived a blow most people couldn't. So you get to keep the flower, everyone gets to live, I'll see you when you get a bit stronger. And then afterwards he realizes not only did he land a blow, he also got a slight cut on his face. Because, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but if we would have went the route of Bam just rushing and grabbing, like, it can work if it's intense enough, but the fact that we're building him into just being like, this is an impossible situation, and the whole crew is sticking by Bam, and the fact that, my biggest issue I had with, like, the earlier points of this season is it didn't feel like we got chemistry. It just kind of felt like characters naturally either liked or hated each other, and it was just established like it's been like that for months. This episode, complete opposite feeling. Bam, without even a second thought, jumping to save that girl and taking that blow, and he quite literally looked dead. It was not looking good. And the team collectively saying, you can threaten us all you want and say, well, we have to leave and, they're going to replace this or that. But no, like, this is a guy who may be a criminal, may have a lot of demons in his closet that could even come back to bite us in the ass. But he's the type of guy who, without a second thought, was willing to sacrifice himself to save a child. We want to be with that type of homie. And then in return, you get this very funny scene with, I don't know what it is, man. I still think back to 3 episodes ago, when it just casually was pretty much said, like, hey, if you don't want us hanging out with a terrorist, get better at cooking. And then she then tries to pick up cooking, and I don't know how she burns it personally, because, like, even when I first started cooking, the only time you burn things is if you walk away and leave it. And she was standing right there. So how the hell did she end up with a foot-tall burnt charcoal patty? I understand under-seasoned. I understand bad flavoring. I'll even understood overcooked or undercooked. But it looked like it was cremated. Like, what the But that stuff just felt better because this episode gave a proper moment that I felt like, okay, I can really see why they're starting to bond and why you know, it just felt like they collectively came together as a team in a situation that was trying to push them away. And then we even get this like interrogation scene where, you know, the character who's literally shaking down, I'm thinking to myself, oh man, they're gonna kill off Bam and we're truly gonna get the new MC of the series. Let's see where we're going. He pretty much is kind of okay, seemingly. Despite Bam pretty much having like, he's being threatened, right? It's like, hey, if you fail, friends die. And then he gets kind of dragged in and they're like, oh, you've gone soft, this, that, and the third. He's like, you know, you really think someone who abandoned their family's going soft? If anything, you now have more hostages. You know, it's better to manipulate. And while that's actually true on an objective level, it definitely feels like there are some feelings here. And I kind of appreciate how this thug terrorist organization isn't completely like, oh, you know, they call us terrorists and they call us evil, but we're doing righteous. Like, no, there's a lot of questionable shit going on, and overall I enjoy it. Now, the scene when, I mean, there's a moment which it looks like Dead Mount Death Play when our boy, I guess, got the punch in. But then when the rib cage kind of goes around, I thought he was getting jumped, like being attacked, and then just the healing maneuver. He was knocked out for 2 or 3 days after that whole ordeal. Might be a mixture of getting clobbered and then also whatever this ability is. But like, yeah, this was good. And despite the Crunchyroll flub of Emily trying to hijack the subtitles, this really was good. I actually was skeptic. I was worried that we were just gonna have a moment where it's like, okay, clearly your MC is not capable of beating, but we have to have the MC win in order to progress, and instead it's someone who's one of the strongest characters pretty much saying, huh, you survived an attack, I'm gonna let you live for that one, boss. I prefer that. Now there's gonna be some people who probably don't like that and would have preferred like a game of tag or something, but that's how I feel. So it just kind of felt like this battle was made for me, because based on everything everyone was hyping up, I mean, it didn't seem like, unless there was some insane training between pushed down by Rachel to where we currently are at, but it feels like it would be too big of a jump. So I quite liked what they were able to accomplish, and just seeing that slight cut on his cheek, you know, their rematch, I don't even know if you want to call it a rematch, because I guess we could call it a rematch, because, yeah, it was a pretty quick one and done, but, you know, it would have been interesting had he not had to protect the girl, what maybe he could have landed before maybe getting knocked out. Anyway, that's all from me. Let me know what you thought down below. How shocked were you if you did discover the episode 8 subtitles on episode 7 before they ultimately corrected them about, I think it was up for about 4 hours, I think, because, yeah, I checked at like 10:30 EST, and I don't think it was until about 2 p.m. that the subtitles were fixed. It was interesting. I hope there was at least one person who watched the full episode with those subtitles. Would have been an experience. Let me know your feelings down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got match Mate, DanBro77, Carl Stephanie Berndl, Ashel, and we also have Jaren Eubanks. I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.